Big breaking news that's coming in from the Paris Olympics. Wrestlers Vinesh Phogat has entered the semi-final. This is the latest update from the Olympics. Our champions continue to make us proud, and Vinesh is now all set to dangle in the semi-finals. In fact, she was of course the face of the wrestlers tour. She's now shined in Paris. Vinesh Phogat reached the semi-finals of the women's 50 kg freestyle wrestling event by beating Ukraine's three-time Commonwealth gold medalist Oksana Livach 7-5 at the Paris Olympics. In fact, this is her first Olympic semi-final, and she's of course all set to take on Cuba's Guzman for a place in the final. Tough competition there for Vinesh Phogat in the semi-finals, but she seems all set to clinch her first Olympic medal. This is her first semi-final, third Olympics overall, and she's of course been the face of the wrestlers' protests as well, and she's now of course proved her mettle with her performance. My colleague Karishma joins us on the broadcast to get us more details on this. Karishma, what an incredible performance there. Vinesh Phogat outclassed all her opponents and even more so was very impressive against her Japanese opponent who virtually is unbeatable.
Well, yes, absolutely. This has been a great performance from Vinesh Phogat. She has defeated four-time world champion and reigning Olympic medalist, Tokyo Olympic medalist Suzuki. Not just that, she's also gotten the better of her Ukrainian opponent as well. And now she's just one win away from assuring a medal for India. But let's not forget, Suzuki was going to be her toughest fight. And now she has beaten her. And the path to the medal, to an Olympic medal, is going to be very, very clear for Vinesh Phogat.
Absolutely, Karishma. Appreciate you joining us on the broadcast, getting us all those exclusive updates from Paris. Right, so we will be discussing this in detail, viewers. Of course, this is an incredible moment there for Vinesh Phogat and all set for the first medal, in fact, from the sport. And this is now Vinesh Phogat that we're talking about. Joining us on the broadcast to discuss more on this are Mukul, who's of course a former international wrestler, and also shortly will be joined by Vikram Yadav, who's a wrestler as well. Mukul, now this is an incredible victory as far as Vinesh Phogat is concerned. And when we say that she's done the unthinkable, she's beaten the unbeatable, it's not just metaphors. The Japanese opponent that she defeated, she's virtually never been defeated throughout her international career. So this is an amazing achievement in itself, no matter what medal she ends up with. Right, we'll try getting updates there from Mukul as well, who's a former international wrestler. But what an incredible Olympics Vinesh Phogat has had. She's of course defeated her Japanese opponent as well in the quarterfinals. Yui Susaki is what we're talking about. She's never been beaten in her international career. She's been unbeatable. She's only been beaten by her fellow from a Japanese, of course, wrestler as well, someone that Vinesh Phogat had also beaten way back in 2018. So Vinesh now has not just inched closer to the medal, but she's also now, of course, defeated someone that's never been defeated internationally. And again, despite what medal she wins, because she has a very good chance at the gold here, given the sort of form that she's in, she, of course, is all set to take on Cuba's Guzman, who's of course one of the toughest opponents. She's of course top seeded as well. So this is going to be a tough game for Vinesh Phogat. But if you look at her form, the way she's of course managed to outclass her opponents, and also the technique that she's displays, because she's changed it every time there's a need to. She played very differently against the Japanese opponent. She's of course been very different against the Ukrainian opponent as well. So she's clearly displayed the diversity as far as gameplay is concerned, and all of this depending on the sort of opponent that she's got. So again, this puts her back in that category, someone that we are expecting a medal from. The last two Olympics, there wasn't really that sort of a diversity that we are seeing this time. So Vinesh, of course, it is safe to say, is much well prepared this time around to go for gold, and she is one of the bright medal hopefuls as far as Indian contingent is concerned at this Olympics. Now, she's of course an experienced international wrestler, Vinesh Phogat. She's of course also participating in the 50 kg category. She's defeated Ukraine's Oksana Livach in the quarter-finals also. And the 29-year-old, in fact, has secured this hard-fought victory over Livach, moving one step closer to winning an Olympic medal. Now, this is her third attempt. She missed out the last two times. She did not get any medal, but this time she is very close to getting one. And in a dramatic turn of events, in fact, Phogat did defeat Japan's Yui Susaki. Now, this was unprecedented because Yui Susaki has never been defeated internationally ever. She's also the reigning gold medalist and also the four-time world champion. So this, of course, was a very difficult task for Vinesh Phogat, but she's managed to do that. And once she did that, she's automatically now become one of the top contenders for the gold medal, because defeating Susaki was said to be the toughest task for any wrestler in this category, the 50 kg category. Now that Vinesh Phogat has done that, she's of course taken down the champion. So she's now of course the top challenger for this category. Now, despite being 0-2 after receiving penalty points, the Indian wrestlers staged a remarkable comeback in the final 5 seconds. Now, this is exactly what is proving the mettle as far as Vinesh Phogat is concerned, and we'll of course be getting you more details on that. My colleague Himanshu is also joining us on the broadcast to get us more details on this. Himanshu, Vinesh Phogat now, she is advanced to the semi-finals. We are pretty almost certain that she is going to get us a medal this time, her third attempt. But what's more heartening is that she's taken down Yui Susaki. Now, the reason why this makes her the top challenger is because Yui Susaki, the Japanese, has never been defeated internationally. She's the reigning gold medalist. She's a four-time world champion. So Vinesh Phogat defeating someone like that and also displaying entirely different styles of play in that game and then the next game shows the diversity in her game as well. So again, this makes her a very good contender for gold.
Absolutely, Ashish. You could not have summed it better. The two bouts that we saw from Vinesh, first against the invincible, so to speak, who was considered invincible till now, Susaki, and then against a Ukrainian opponent. Absolute brilliant defense in the first one and stunning offense in the other. If we talk about the bout against Susaki, you're absolutely right. I mean, nobody actually had till now figured out a way to get around Susaki's offense. You know, the way she would grab her opponent in the first couple of minutes, pile on the points, and then actually maintain that lead. She's been doing that for years, through the championships, through Tokyo Olympics, and nobody had actually figured out a way to break through that impregnable fort Susaki. But Vinesh showed that it can be done. It has been done. I mean, look at the way she actually came back in that bout. Barely few seconds to go, but she did not give up. And in the last, as the dying moments of the clock, she actually managed to turn that bout around on its head. Ashish, we must not forget, not taking anything away from Vinesh, but what has happened off the mat in the past 1 year or so has been of incredible importance in this bout that we're seeing at the Olympics. She has had to go through a lot, the trial by fire, so to speak. I mean, apart from the protests that we had witnessed on the streets of the capital in India, the trials, the national selection trials herself made a lot of headlines for multitude of reasons, not just the wrestling. And to get through all that and then come back and perform the way she has, let's not forget, she also did not have the best of Olympic outings in the past. She had a lot of baggage, but she has shown that the baggage can be shaken off and come at the hour, come at the champion. Absolutely brilliant performance. And yes, now she's actually one of the strong contenders for gold. Sakshi Malik became the first to actually win that medal for us in wrestling. But that was a repechage event. This time around, 8 years on, Vinesh, the way she has actually progressed to the semis, she has done it in a dominant manner. She has done it with confidence, showing impeccable skill. And though her match is in few hours from now, the semi-final bout, one would not be surprised if actually she does manage to script history and become the first Indian woman wrestler to actually go on and win a gold for India.
Absolutely. Also, Himanshu, a quick follow-up question there. You were talking about what she's gone through over the past 12 months now. Of course, she also took a small break from wrestling during that period. And help us understand how difficult that must have made what she is doing now. Because, again, wrestlers or like any other athlete will have to be in top-notch form throughout in order to ensure that they are in the best form at the Olympics. And now when you look at her, she looks much more fitter than any of her opponents from any country. And she also looks much more in control of her game. So, do you think she's, of course, turned it around quite remarkably? Himanshu, if you can hear me right now, the follow-up question was, of course, the fact that she looks much more fitter and much more agile than any of her opponents right now. And you were talking about what she's gone through over the past few months, and she had also taken a small break from wrestling. So, how much more difficult would that have made for her to be so fit for the Olympics and also now be in the semi-finals? Right. So, of course, Himanshu was telling us about how she's been pretty impressive this Olympics because it's been a very difficult time for her over the past few months. She's, of course, had to trial by fire, trial by combat, whatever you call it. But it's been a very difficult time for her. But she's, of course, gone through all of that and now she's emerged victorious. She's, in fact, one of the top contenders as far as this competition is concerned. It's the 50 kg category that we're talking about, and she's not just been winning her bouts, she's also taken down the reigning gold medalist and also the four-time champion. The person that was supposed to be the top contender for the gold medal, she's taken her down in the quarter-final, in fact, before the quarterfinals as well. So that, of course, makes Vinesh Phogat a top contender. And again, we continue to track her journey in this Olympics, and she's, of course, now just a few hours away from the first medal in wrestling for India as far as this Olympics is concerned.